Machinery. Worst hospital in the area. The least clean in the area. Selling lots of canned drinks. Amazing kills to death ratio. Let's lose! Yeah, that's a good point. If there are very few patients in my hospital, even if an epidemic happens, it doesn't mean a whole lot. The epidemics happened because people started queuing up for my reception, which shouldn't have happened in the first place. You never need to water this plant, the plant and the receptionist's desk. It's probably fake. Yikes! No, what? No! Stop! God damn it! What the hell?
Attention, earthquake warning.
No! No! Come on!
1,600, 1,100 dpi.
No, this is so not fair. The hell? No! Oh, come on now! I could only save and then reload. No, my mouse is fine! It's absolutely fine, that's the problem. How the hell am I supposed to fix this? Yes, I am quite sure it's quite a decent mouse. Look, I alt-tab out of this, it works absolutely fine, alright? The mouse is absolutely fine. It's not the mouse. Yeah, I should probably do that. The question is when... Oh boy. Yeah, I will have to load the game. Can't even confirm this, I will have to just kill the process. Why? Well, that's too bad. By the way, look at how dead my mouse is. Boy, is it dead. Boy, is it a hardware fault. But obviously the worst part about this was the helplessness. I could not do a goddamn thing. But on a more serious note, don't you guys think that pretty much... Maybe not the worst thing in itself, but a component of pretty much all the worst experiences you might have is helplessness. Right? I think I'm onto something though. I like big words and I cannot lie. I so easily abuse myself. Either way. I've completely lost my train of thought. I remember this wonderful anecdote told by Anecdotes, an amazing StarCraft 2 caster, and a one-time StarCraft pro. Or at least, someone who attempted to be one. The anecdote went something like this. He was working as a... I don't know, some middle-level manager at a stall. People most commonly refer to it as a store that sold, I don't know, Christmas trees or something. But in fact it sold a lot more than that. Either way, as a manager he was sent to some sort of training, I guess? Some sort of a meeting where they were supposed to learn some managerial skills. And as here, as far as I remember, he said that most people there were middle-aged women, and then there he was, a 20-something guy. And they had this exercise where they were supposed to make a paper plane. And then they were supposed to throw the paper planes, signed with their names, as far as I remember. And of course, one guy would win, one person would win. Someone's plane would travel the furthest, right? And then the person was supposed to... Yeah, I've told this a couple of times, haven't I? Or at least once. And I just love this because it illustrates the point so perfectly. Yeah, they were supposed to make paper planes, and the person who managed to get his paper plane the furthest was then supposed to teach everyone how to make such a paper plane. Oh, so at least two people. Yes, these the two of you don't know this one. Either way, they were supposed to make the best paper. Someone would have to make the best paper plane, right? The one that would flow the furthest. And then he was supposed to teach others how to make such a paper plane as an exercise in being a leader and explaining things. And it was supposed to be all social, I guess. It was supposed to illustrate some point quite well. But then again, what did Altoses do? He looked at the problem. He looked at the room they were in. He actually took a piece of paper, mashed it into a ball and threw it against the wall. It traveled across the room, it got the furthest out of anyone. Nope. I mean, these people, most of them will... I think all of them were trying to actually accomplish the goal. And Altoses tried the hardest of all. And he absolutely accomplished it. I mean, as he mentioned, there were no limitations, there were no specific things mentioned about how a plane is supposed to look like, how it's supposed to work, how it's supposed to be constructed. So technically, it was absolutely legal to do that. Well, how do you define a paper plane? There were no rules mentioning that you cannot actually crumple a piece of paper into a ball. And therefore, technically he won, didn't he? Well, no, he actually got disqualified. But this illustrates something amazing. But how do you define a paper plane? It was not properly defined, it was not in the terms of the exercise, and I dare say this illustrates something amazingly well. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, they disqualified him, so they probably had the same idea as you. Yeah, it's horrible that they disqualified him, but can you see the thing about this story that is so brilliant? What they were trying to accomplish and what they have actually accomplished. There were assumptions. That completely did not get met in the slightest. They assumed that people have ideas and that these ideas can be propagated, and therefore other people can can get more competent. They can improve themselves. But if actually they treated Altoses' accomplishment as a victory, what would he do? Because as I mentioned, they were supposed to throw the paper planes, and the one that traveled the furthest would be the winning one, and the winner would explain to other people how to create such a paper plane. What would the point of that be? So they would take Altoses, the winner, and tell him to explain to other people how to do that, and he would say, you just crumple a piece of paper into a ball and you throw it as hard as you can. No, once you see the solution, you don't have to have it explained to you. But to come up with the solution, you have to be, I would say, in a way, a genius. And you can't teach anyone to be a genius. Outside the box thing. Yeah, but you cannot teach people to think outside the box. That's the thing. That's the problem. They were supposed to teach people management skills, and they have absolutely, I think, succeeded in showing a thing they did absolutely not want to show people. That some skills cannot be taught in the slightest. You cannot teach people to be, I don't know, original, to be a genius, to be innovative in such a way, to such an extent. You can help them to realize their potential to that degree, certainly. Baratosis could not have taught these people to come up with his solution. Because it was a very particular solution for a very particular situation. You can teach people how to make a particular paper plane, but you cannot teach them that in such a situation you can come up with such a brilliant solution as to crumple up a piece of paper and win. When I want to watch a video, sometimes it can be daunting to see a video that's hours long, but if it's cut up into small pieces, into small tiny little chunks, it seems a lot more manageable. Even though it makes no sense, you can absolutely watch 10 minutes and then pause. Who's stopping you? And YouTube will keep track. You come back to that video, you come back to a particular point in time. There's no reason to actually be, there's no reason to hold off. There's no reason avoid watching longer videos. And yet, psychologically, it just feels wrong to an extent. Now that I think about it, this will eventually be posted to YouTube. This part might actually get highlighted or something. Peer pressure doesn't work, at least in my experience. I mean, I've heard of it, and allegedly it works on other people, but why would you give in? Why? Why would you ever do what other people do? Why would you care more about their opinion of you than about your opinion of them? As in, if they want you to do something that you do not want to do, why would you figure out that you are inadequate instead of concluding that they are inadequate? Why would you conclude that they are the cool kids you want to hang around with and not figure out that you are the cool kid, and if they do not want what you want, then they are not the cool kids by definition? I mean, I guess it takes a certain degree of outright narcissism to think in such a way, but hey. I guess the conclusion I came up with is that narcissism protects perfectly from peer pressure. I am also capable of empathy, but what I'm not capable of is telepathy. To a certain extent I can figure out how people feel, but I cannot figure out how people think, and this has led to amazing circumstances. For instance, I could feel that people were unhappy about something, but did not have the slightest goddamn idea what. It's like, okay, something is wrong, but what the hell is it? It's like, what's bothering you? I can see that you are bothered by something, but what?
Mrs. Birkenhead, to the rear exit, please.
I am about to contradict myself, by the way, because... But hold on! Let me contradict myself on my own terms. I've seen people so many times get into misunderstandings because they just operated within completely different paradigms and they could not. I don't know if they just weren't trying, but still, they could not for the life of them just figure out what the hell the problem was, and they could not put themselves in the other person's shoes and just learn to understand their differences. And I'm not saying that they should just agree to disagree on things, because that's horrible, and that's at times even inefficient and completely nonsensical at others, but they were probably not even aware of the fact that they needed to make an effort to understand the other person from a completely different perspective rather than trying to cram them into their own categories and coming up with the conclusion that the other person's reasoning was completely broken.